Barcelona, last afternoon of the week.
Yeah.
How's it been?
Been surprisingly good, I would say.
Let me start again because I didn't introduce you. Okay. I'm losing the plot.
So you'll have to do some serious editing then.
Yes, I've got a little bit of editing. It's okay at the start in one go. Barcelona, last afternoon of the week, and I'm here with Breton, who is the COO and Head of Sales and Marketing for Mentum. And you're from Quebec, Canada.
Indeed.
Yeah, we're just talking about the French language there, so you're fluent in French.
Yes, indeed.
How did you end up in Mentum? What's the history?
There's quite a bit of history, actually. I'll have to go almost 20 years back.
Excellent.
Although Mentum is only a 2-year-old business, I've got a research background. So interesting enough, while I'm largely heading sales and marketing and then the overall strategy of Mentum, I've started with 10 years on research, where we develop technologies for very advanced technologies indeed for OFDM simulation software, which made us to create a startup in Canada, which was focusing on radio access network planning. We ended up being acquired by Marconi in 2001. We were quite successful at the time, and we ended up being acquired by Marconi. Marconi, as you probably know, struggled after the telecom bubble busted, and was acquired altogether in 2006 by Ericsson.
Right.
The division I was managing within Ericsson got spun off in 2007, and we created Mentum then. So Mentum is, and my role in Mentum is the result of history. So we're kind of a startup, but a mature startup, if that makes any sense.
A little bit. Tell me more.
Okay. Well, when we say mature startup, it's a startup with a lot of customers in 90 countries, and thanks to our history with Marconi and Ericsson, and really working in global organization, it made it possible for us to, I would say, make the blend and between being small, nimble, focused. When we were that small Ottawa company called Northwood Technologies at the time, 50 employees, very nimble, but very reactive to customers, so really the startup mentality. That's where I learned to really be reactive and focus on customers and always putting customers first. Obviously, larger organization, Ericsson and Marconi, that's where you learn how to become global in a real manner. Small companies struggle with the notion of globalization. It's a very difficult step. As a manager, I really learned a lot through both Marconi and Ericsson to be a global company, to work with world-class operators, which were in terms of size, obviously much bigger than the customer that we had as a startup. So, as a result, Mentum today really kind of, and the people at Mentum really brings that blend of experience and nimbleness and eagerness to please.
How big is Mentum now?
Mentum is about 100 people on a global basis. We have offices in 5 countries. We have our main R&D center in Canada, but we also have our headquarters in Paris, and we have offices in Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Dallas.
Oh, great. Yeah. Okay, well, it's a good global coverage.
Yeah. For a company of our size, definitely we're a very global company. We have customers in 90 countries. So,
what's the elevator pitch for the product?
Yeah, well, for the product, the elevator pitch is really, we as a provider of radio planning software, we offer the ability for operators to accurately know what the performance of their network will be based on changes in the network, like the overlay of a new technology, or changes in the utilization pattern of their subscribers within the network. So it's really the ability to plan properly the network so that it's done right the first time.
Okay, so you have a large client base. Mm-hmm. You have a I don't know, want to use the word mature maybe. You have a very clear established product. Yeah. And business model. Mm-hmm. Where are you going now?
Well, it's all about 4G now. For us, it's all about 4G. We released our 4G product here at Mobile World Congress. We also announced that we've been selected by KDDI, one of the leading Japanese operator and one of the leader in terms of data services for our LTE product. We've also been selected by several WiMAX players, more than 40 in fact already. So 4G is a big play for us. We're in a leadership position in 4G. With the sort of product we have, there's really 2 things that make people in a mature market like we are, to change their product. It's technologies and we mean a change in the wireless technology, a change in generation, and it's customer care, the ability to be supported properly. And with that global presence and being a high-end solution where technology has always been of foremost importance, I think we combine both, and it's proving successful.
In your role in terms of COO and sales and marketing, what's the largest challenge you've got? What is it? Technology? Is it you go to market? Is it differentiating yourself?
It's interesting. This is a very interesting question because it's all of that. But if I was to say for a company of our size, if I was to pick one challenge, is the go-to-market strategy.
Sure. Okay.
We do business in 90 countries. We're present in 5 countries with offices in 5 countries. We have people in 10 countries that live in 10 countries. It's a big market to cover for a company of our size. So it's the ability to control your sales cost such that you can succeed, you can be present enough and intimate enough with your customers without being in a position where you overspend in terms of your sales cycle. So the go-to-market strategy is definitely, for a company of our size, the hardest thing. I have to say that to a certain degree, we're sort of lucky from a technological perspective. We've always been ahead in terms of technology. So I guess because we've always focused on that, and maybe we've gained the advantage of being part of Ericsson and Marconi at the time, that is maybe not our largest challenge at this stage.
Right.
While normally for a company of our size, that could very well be also a major challenge. But we also have a very competitive R&D position in Canada. It's a very good place for doing R&D in terms of skills.
And the global recession at the moment, is that helping or hindering your go-to-market then, if it's the biggest
challenge?
Biggest challenge, yeah.
Well, the recession is affecting everything. I mean, I think there are no sectors now that are immune or that can state that they're completely immune to the recession. But telecommunication, let's put it this way, is not the most affected sector. And in our segment, we are a very small part of an infrastructure, a CapEx budget, or an OSS budget of an operator. So the pressure from a budgetary perspective is not that significant for a product line like ours. Again, we really do in business-to-business model. We're very far from the end consumer, where maybe there's a little bit more pressure right now in terms of the recession. So I would be lying if I was saying that there's no impact, but I would say the impact in our business is rather modest.
Okay, and in terms of solving your or addressing the largest challenge, do you use channels?
Yes, we do use channels. We use channels specifically in areas where we don't have enough people on the ground in Asia and Latin America, where we're largely selling through channels. In areas where we're very strong, we tend to go direct because it allows us to be closer to the customer base. Right. So it's a question of volume and size. For example, in Japan, we're going direct. In the US, we're direct. In Europe, we're mostly direct. In the Middle East as well.
Wow, okay. And where are you focused most geographically in terms? Where do you see the growth? Let's turn the question around that way.
Okay.
Geographically.
Right now, we're seeing the growth mainly in the Middle East area, in the African market, in the Asian market. But at the same time, I'd like to say that I think we're going to see a new wave of growth in the more mature telecom market like Japan and the US with regards to the rollout of 4G. You've probably seen the announcement of Verizon yesterday. They selected their LTE vendors. Things are really moving forward with LTE in the US, and that will drive a new expansion in our field.
Okay. Well, I think that's a great overview of what you're doing, and brilliant career there. Going from technical through to where you are now in executive position.
It's all about passion.
Yeah. Well, appreciate the time.
Pleasure.
Thank you.